All right, so it is the 11th of Dird of Fomhar. This is sunny day. You all always gather on Sunday, the evening of before your expedition. Outside are blizzard-like conditions, howling winds and snow. Darkness comes earlier. Daylight is narrow. And Caden has informed his acolytes, and even Myrna and Murok have agreed to come with you if you choose. You don't have to. We'll figure that out in a second when we go to the tavern. So tonight, all of the appointed people that you've selected, every able-bodied person, I have that you have 36 people, not including acolytes and other hirelings. You've picked the best who are willing to go. And all of them are with you tonight in the Bristleback Inn.
A big crowd.
Was there like a wizard chick wizard lady that was
So
No, there was another one. The one that decoded the scroll.
The researcher.
So I'll tell you everybody that you see here, and then you can kind of organize your team and make talk to whoever you want, and even talk to all the people that are going to follow you tomorrow morning. Let's see here. Tonight you've got all of these 36 people in here, plus another 10 or so other villagers of what is now essentially the village of Zelkor's Ferry. No ferry has come now in weeks. And other than just the villagers, you also have Myrna and Murok, who have Myrna has insisted that she be available to go if you have her. You also have Una and Solod. And Alaric, I'll have Una will approach you. That'll be the first thing that happens after I describe what you see here. And then you have 5 acolytes and 3 mercenaries. These are all the people that you could take. You could also take more villagers if you chose. There is also the other magic user, but she has Ailish, and she has said that she would not go on something like this. She is not fit for something like that, and really is not. Nor are the other villagers. And then Odo, who is here tonight, and we'll see you off tomorrow with his wife and his 2 servers and his cook, and his mercenaries. He is also not offering yeah. And that's who you see here. What do you do, Alaric?
Before we go into this a little out of character, we're going to be taking 36 or so villagers with us. They're not counting for experience, are they? They're just workers. They're not part of the... If they are, we're going to, this is a freebie. Let's get everybody in then.
I thought about
that.
We're
not getting experience.
We're not
getting experience if we do that.
I'll make you a deal, because if it's up to you all. You can turn the dial up on this if you think this is too not hard enough. But I will say that they don't count and the acolytes don't count.
Well, I was just saying, because we're not really... The reason we would be getting them arms and stuff is to help them not be...
I understand.
If something jumps them, they don't get slipped. But we don't want them to fight at all in anything, so...
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah,
and we have 3 mercenaries as well, right?
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I think we have 3 of those.
Up to us. What do you want 3 mercenaries?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yes, in case we meet the wargs.
Okay, so right now we're at the party of 4. Wait, 5. Party of 5 and 3 mercenaries. We'll see what else is here.
Myrna, Murok, Una, Solat, the 5 acolytes.
What are the names of the acolytes? Hang on a second. One moment. I'm doing something alone that I should be doing collectively, which is making a list of all these people.
The 5 acolytes don't have names
Wow.
that we
See
know
how
of.
you are.
Okay.
You have to earn a name.
Okay, so there's also Una and what's her face? Una and Sutat.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what
all
this-
we have right now is if we're taking all the acolytes, we have them, and the volunteered clerics. Assuming you guys say yeah, sure, then that's it. And now we do the normal thing in the room.
Oh yeah, the mercenaries. Okay. How much food do we want to bring for each of these people? I assume as much as we can carry. How much food do we have available to purchase in terms of rations?
As much as you want.
Oh, excellent.
We buy it all.
How much is all?
And then we just leave. We never come back.
we just buy it all and then.
Oh,
Well,
Leave the Bard's Gate.
do we make sleds, do you think? Do we,
Yeah, we talked about that.
We
yeah.
should make some sleds.
Okay. Can we say that over the week we've been doing that? Because we talked about that last time. Whatever that looks like. Like
I
grease.
feel like we decided on we could get 2 sleds up and running, I believe.
Yeah. The other thing that we need to consider is I didn't read further from when I posted earlier today, but the movement speeds of can we get everybody to 12 by dropping stuff? I can drop weapons behind and just keep my main thing.
I have a donkey that can carry some of the extra stuff.
I should be able to get some of my stuff.
I'll put a small bag on the sled.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we can all travel at 12. I'm not going to bring anything that I have to depend on something else to carry it.
Right.
Because I don't want to risk that.
Except for like firewood and food.
Yeah, exactly. But, that's extra stuff. All right. Anything else anybody wants to think
Engage
about
my
there?
shield. 1 second.
Jay,
I think-
anything you...
Yeah, I think we should. I'd like to suggest that we bring. You said firewood, right? Firewood, like some big poles and tarps as much as possible, like light stuff that we can put into structures if we can.
That's a good idea to keep rain or snow off of the wood, as it were.
Yeah, maybe we use.
Besides us,
Yeah, and maybe we use them to build like wall tents or something out as a starting provisional woodcutters camp somewhere or something.
We'll want to get shovels as much as possible. Caden, what was that?
There's like a hut we can stop at if we need to.
The hut
If
is
we
how far
dare.
away?
It was in the Wishy Wood there.
Right, that's the witchy wood, but that hut isn't going to hold everybody. We've got 40-something people going to be with us. Well, huts are worthless to us right now unless we have a special class of survivors and the others.
Or we could take turns in there and get our HP back or something.
It's better than having. It's only an hour in a dry place, right? So, it's better than nothing. I'm gonna put up the map and see if that's a halfway point, or like to see if that might be a good point for us to.
Oh yeah, if it's not taking us out of the way, it makes sense.
How many people, Caden, do you think could fit in that hut? Like, how big was it?
Well, it's big enough for an ogress, so I don't know.
Yes. Speaking of that, Father Caden, I hear there's two men that went into that area that didn't come back alive or come back.
Well, one of them was killed by a giant peacock thing, but the other one just jumped into a mirror and never came back.
What the hell are you talking about?
Is the mirror still there?
Oh no, we destroyed it.
But isn't that the best way to get him back?
He's told us that it was okay, so
He spoke to you?
told us the ranger before he jumped into the mirror. He told us that it was that he would come back some other way.
Okay, so you trusted the guy who jumped into a mirror, what he said to you.
Well, yeah, and we also lost our shadows.
I'm not really voting for that witchy force.
But that's when we stepped into the other world. The hut
Yeah.
is probably fine.
There's a key word there, Caden. Probably.
That sounds like a nightmare. Half of me is wondering if you're even telling the truth, Caden. Fighting a peacock and jumping through mirrors? That sounds like stuff my
Gosh.
mama used to tell me
Why
about.
are you all picking on
Well,
Caden
we
so
talked to a
much?
giant lizard as well.
I'm not even sure if Gerald knows what a peacock is.
Yeah, I was
There was a
thinking the
talking
same
lizard
thing.
in this too.
Yeah, and some bees that had rust on them. They sounded like I don't know, some
Okay,
kind of
Caden,
machine.
you're just making stuff up now, aren't you?
There was
I
there was
wonder
lots of
myself if it was a dream.
a lot of
Is this-
pipeweed in that hut, wasn't there?
Is this an Aristide joke?
You all do notice, if you look, that like his chair casts a shadow. You look, you can see his chair, but
Like
there's
an empty chair.
no body in the chair. Yeah.
So creepy.
Vampire.
So I have a thought. Instead of going around, are there other people? Whether there are other people in the room or not, Caden or Flanagan is going to stand up on a table, and probably he's not very charismatic, so probably people are still blabbing away, and he has to bang his sword on the tankard on his sword to get everybody's attention.
All right.
And he once everybody quiets down, he clears his voice and speaks up and says, well, thank you everybody for coming. I'm not much one for talking in front of people, but I know Caden's been talking to you all about urging you to think about what you should do for the winter, and I just want to repeat some of the things he might have said. I feel really honored that all you are going to go out there with us. But I want to repeat what Kate and what we all been saying, that we don't know who's going to come back. We don't know what's going to happen out there. It's the same thing every time we go out there. But what I do know is that if we stay here, many of us are going to die. Maybe most of us, because we're going to starve, and there's not enough room within these walls when winter hits. We got to get out there because we got to get wood. We got to find it. We have a fighting chance if we go out there. We might all die. None of us might come back tomorrow. I want you all to remember that. None of us might come back. But at least we have a chance. And I promise you, I will do everything I can to keep you alive. And so will the rest of us. We have experience out there, but this is all new. All this snow. And it's fiercely unkind, and it's unnatural too. You can expect to see all kinds of nightmares out there. So if you're not ready for it, then you can stay here. But I promise we'll fight by your side. Any of you others have anything to say? Alaric, Caden, Seamus, Gerald?
I'll promise to take care of all of you all that come, but I don't want you to come if you're worried about leaving anybody behind that can't fend for themselves or anything like that, because this is going to be a real dangerous trip. We don't know what we're facing, and we got the weather against us. Just know that none of us are happy about what we're doing, but we're doing it because it's the only way to survive.
One of the people in the crowd of people there says, "You already know we're coming with you, Alaric."
Nod.
Just
Gerald,
making
anything?
All of you have
Here.
proven yourselves very valorous by getting this far to Zelkor's Ferry. You have come here through a very difficult time. We are all going through a difficult winter, but we're going through it together. And at the end of it, there will be spring. I'll meet you there, and I'll guide you through as best I can. I've met these wolves before. I plan to meet them for the last time soon, at your side. No one else I'd rather be doing it with.
A blessing, maybe? Father Caden?
Yeah, Caitlin will say a blessing in the language of the light for everyone.
Most of them bow their heads. Most of them.
yeah. Flanagan bows his head.
He kind of watches you, while he's saying it.
What is
No,
what's Seamus do?
Win during the
I was
prayer.
gonna ask Seamus if he can stack the odds in our favor with any tricks he knows.
Mm. Yeah, I will, Captain. He'll stand up on a chair. Y'all here, they're coming with us. Those of you that make it back with us, free meal and all you can drink for one night here at Odo's on me.
They cheer, slam their mugs on the cups on the tables. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So we have 53 mouths to feed. That includes us. How long do we anticipate it taking to get there?
2 to 3 days.
2 to 3 days.
So
Okay.
5.
Probably closer to 3.
Yeah,
Let's say
maybe
5.
4.
Okay. So that's 3 gold pieces. So that's 6 rations. Each ration is half a gold. Let's make sure 6 rations each. So that's 159 gold. I'll do that now. One moment.
Let's get a total of that and whatever equipment we got to get.
So you're just marking that down, and we'll deal with that after.
Yeah, I'll take it off my character sheet. Don't worry about it. So
I think there's enough armaments for everyone. Isn't there?
pretty much. Did you see the little spreadsheet I posted a link to? I'm keeping track of this
No.
nonsense. Okay. I posted a link in the chat. If you check it out, it should show what we need. Something is ration.
It's getting intense. When you got spreadsheets.
18 divided by 2 equals 159. Oh man, Rasmus Pi is going to make a lot of money off me today.
Oh wow.
Okay.
You all get what rest you can, and the next morning, it feels almost as if the sun does not even rise. The sky is overcast. The winds are howling. It's icy cold, but everyone gathers outside of the thick, snow-covered, icy wooden palisade of Zilcor's Ferry.
Maybe we should get rations for 7 days.
Yeah. But we're gonna just collect the money and we'll split it though. Don't because this way we get everything. We'll take care of it for everybody.
Yeah.
What about? Do we have you Gerald? You had the list. Do we have enough for spears for everybody? I'd like to actually.
We have. There are 19 people who already have spears. There are.
How many of these the peasant people that we have to deal with? We should buy if we can buy that many.
25 spears. I don't think we can afford that. The
25 gold. That's 25 gold.
Oh, okay. Sure, go for it.
I mean, assuming that they're available and assuming they're regular prices, if it's 25 gold. I don't know if they are.
Sure.
Ross,
Yeah.
I have a question. Is it going to be easier, just thinking of the route, is it going to be easier for us to still be on the road? Or does it even matter? Is it, as the crow flies, just as easy across some of the flat areas?
So I'll point 2 things out to Alaric here, starting with what you can see as they open the palisade. A couple of things about your environment. The first thing is that it was a very wise idea to try to put sleds to pull the equipment. Otherwise, the equipment probably would have went nowhere, and you would have had no peasants, no villagers at all. But the other thing is that it's also good to not be weighted down. Although you're ultimately going to move slower, you can tell. At least you'll move as fast as you can. Trying to move quickly probably seems like a good idea. Trying to find harder surfaces and snow or roads and not going through brush probably would also be a good idea. And on the other hand, trying to get there as fast as possible. The second thing that happens, Alaric, is in the winds, as they open the palisade, the mercenaries do, and you get ready to depart, 2 people come to you in the wind. One, a woman and a man with a heavy pack and weapons. It is Una, and she says, Alaric, in the wind. Alaric, you would depart without me and Solad.
I wasn't aware you were coming.
Oh, well, I would hope very much to go. I know that it's dangerous, but it's precisely what I'm here to study.
What What is that?
The changes that are happening here. It's my purpose here.
Hold on 1 second. I call for a huddle.
Now, who is this lady again?
That is most likely, I have a theory of who that is, but it is certainly a weird, dark, not good person.
A follower of chaos, perhaps.
Yes.
The creepy guy called her a witch.
Creepy guy called her a witch. I think.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Yeah. What do you say about having? I mean, she wants to study this stuff. I don't know why she needs to be with us to study the weird weather. Of course, she would need to be with us if she wants to end up in a wood with peacocks and octopus plants or whatever the heck it was that was over there. She might need help to get to those. And when she's there, who knows what she'll do with it. I'm not keen on this one.
Well, if she's with us, we can keep an eye on her. If she's back in the village, we have no idea if she's getting up to mischief.
Yeah, I think exactly keeping up. Go ahead.
I will keep an eye on her myself.
I think we should take her.
Okay.
I don't think we can trust her in the long run. But right now we sink or swim together.
Right. Okay, so let's make sure that we have somebody at all times literally monitoring her and ready to do something if need to.
Yeah, okay.
Yep,
Deal.
we'll probably be subtle about it.
I think she knows we don't trust her, and I think
Yeah,
she's at peace with that, I would hope.
All right, Alaric, what do you tell her? You come back.
We've discussed it, and while we weren't planning on it, sure, come along, but you're going to have to be very careful about this weather and be prepared to be cold, freezing, and, cheerful in that.
Solod will protect me.
From
I trust
cold?
him. That's what I've hired him for. He can help me. And she smiles back to Solod, and Solod looks at both of you. You can tell that he's calculating what he needs to do to survive with everyone. And for Una.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to show everybody the gear that we got, prepare them all the stuff. We're going to put things on the mule and the sled that we don't want to weigh it down, but anything that's critical, not anything that we're doing for fun. We're going to put food, firewood, that kind of stuff. If you've got extra weapons or something that you normally carry with you, don't do that. And we'll pass out. We'll show them where we have like these snowshoes and stuff like that for anybody who can, use them. We'll try that maybe for see if that does anything better for us.
Okay, so you all have prepared all sorts of stuff. You've prepared sleds and beams with tents to create makeshift tent cities in order to warm yourself. And I will say that maybe this isn't obvious, and maybe I'm wrong. I was in the army for 13 years, and I've done this a couple times. Mostly I'm a pogue though, but I've done it, and it takes time. However, you will be able to get your hit points. That's like the point, right? Like you'll be able to create with this train of logistics, you'll be able to erect things. You get all this stuff.
And shovels.
Shovels and gear and food, etc. Okay, so
We're ready.
All right, where do you go?
What do you think there, Seamus?
I just put up a thing in for us to help us here. I just put up in Discord with 3 different routes that might help. Go ahead, Seamus.
Well, yes, southwest, of course. Oh, looking at your map. I like the red one, maybe. Though I don't know.
Wide is the river?
Yes.
Actually, wait, is it a river, or is that just a road?
That's a
The
road.
black line is the road, Jeff.
I think it's a
Sorry.
road along a river.
Gotcha.
So the orange route or the red route has the witchy hut there. Maybe we go along to where the red and the orange and the green separate, and then decide if we should make a beeline across to the forest or if it's better to stop at the witchy hut depending on the weather or something.
Yeah.
But I guess we don't have to clear the entire forest now, just establish a base camp, right?
And hopefully deal with at least one of the threats if we can.
Maybe make it on one end, or the orange one near the end of the road, so that eventually we'll want to make a road when the snow leaves to keep lumbering.
Right.
I did forget one thing that I made a note, but I forgot it until I saw it now. In asking Odo, I'd like to briefly speak to him before we leave.
Yeah, he goes to see you all off. In fact, he's there in the morning, and he's like, I think, well, you might not want to hear this, Alaric, but in case, goodbye. You're good men.
We hope to see you again, but we're aware of what could happen. Same, you're doing a good job here, and keep the men safe, keep the family safe. But in order to help us keep everything safe, this is the time to tell us anything you might have that you might have been holding back on information. We're going to try our best to clear stuff in that crescent. If there's anything we need to look for, we should be looking for. We want to achieve a valuable end rather than just set up the base. If there's anything that we should look at or think an area we should look at, let us know now, even if it's only a guess.
Aye. Well, I'll tell you what I don't know, and then I'll tell you something I do. I don't leave this place. For years, I've protected my family. He has to raise his voice over the wind. I've done the best I could to do that. I didn't mean to come out here and start this, but I'm here now. This is my life. I don't leave this palisade, and I try to protect the people that are inside of it the best I can. So I don't know exactly what's out there, just the stories I've heard. People that come back. You know, like your friend, what's his name? Like Gelver.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come back and I'm not sure what to believe, the things I hear. So I don't leave this place. But what I do know that's out there is something that thinks. Something that feels and plans.
How do you know that, Odo? Is it just a feeling you have, or have you seen something?
I've been here for years, Flanagan, and people have made plans like you have now. I've seen them be undone. I've seen them as if they already knew what was going to happen before it happened. Sometimes plans would work for a time. But you're the first group of men who's ever survived out here and left these walls and come back so often.
All right, well, that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but I hope we come back again.
You don't think that ogress that we encountered could be the thing you're speaking of?
The wolves that you saw, they, you said there were big ones, aye?
Oh, 3 big ones.
They've haunted us quite a bit.
Almost
Great
the
wolves.
size of up to a man's chest.
Bigger than that. That's
Yeah.
what you describe as an unusually large wolf. What we saw was larger than that. The size of horses, maybe.
I think they're
For owners,
smart.
at least.
I think that they plan. I think that they watch and plan, and I think they're smart.
There's a legend we have on Ire of wolves that walk on 2 feet. Do you think maybe that is part of this? Would be?
You could make a wisdom save.
Let's see here, D20 plus.
But what he says in response is, of that I'm not sure. Though I doubt it will matter soon enough.
I make it.
You notice that it makes him really uncomfortable when you mention that they could be walking on 2 feet.
Yeah. Seamus will bulldoze right past that. Another part of the rumor is that such creatures are prone to be harmed by silver. You wouldn't have any silvered weapons here in this place, would you?
Seamus, you've seen what Rasmus keeps. We barely have weapons in this place.
That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully it has nothing to do with that. And Seamus will kick himself for not thinking of this 6 days ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We have a magic weapon. That'll do if it comes to
We
it.
have 2.
If I can hit anything.
yeah. All right.
Well, if you fall, I'll pick up your weapon.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Alaric, which direction do we go of the 3?
All right. We are going to stick on the join direction, so we're going to go... Hang on, let me get it on the map. We're going to continue until it splits, so it's pretty much one path, if I recall, but I don't have it open.
The intersection of path 2 and path 1.
Okay.
Now, sticking to the road the most, right?
Yes, we're going to stick to the road for the first part and see how many days or whatever it takes us to get there, moving at sled/12, because we're going to keep everybody to 12.
So you're going to use the road and then shoot straight toward the woods and not go toward the hut?
Well, no, that's what we don't know yet. When we get to that point,
Gotcha.
we'll know how much time we've spent on the road and figure out what we got to do.
Whoops.
For the benefit of those who view later, I've popped the map up on the screen. Just a moment.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead and pause the YouTube and take a gander at the art done by R. Flanagan. And now I'll go ahead and close it again. Seriously, his maps are so good.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
I kind of messed this up, so it doesn't go that far and come back, so the distance shown is not accurate. It's about 5 miles. Let's see. Lost the...
How many days does it take us to get that far?
Okay, so this is just prior to evening, when darkness is about to fall. And
great.
You make it to that intersection.
Good.
Day 1? Well,
Okay.
Everyone is leaning against the wind and just almost like you're fighting the wind itself, trying to get where you're going.
Right. So if we keep this pace, we should make the witchy hut by the next night. But we
Yeah.
probably make the forest by the next night.
Yeah, it looks like the same distance would get us to outside of the forest. So we're going to have to travel there and sleep outside there anyway. But is our plan to create the base where that line is? If it is, we're probably better off going straight there.
You can also travel in the dark, if
Right.
you light lanterns and stuff.
I don't know. My vote
Feels
would be
like it would be even colder.
and we have penalties if we don't sleep, right?
yeah.
Well,
If we're going to get ambushed by wolves, and we do expect we want them to come after us and fight us. I don't want it to happen in the middle of the night. If we can
okay.
avoid it, because then they can see and we can't.
Right.
I mean, my vote would be to have to go the next night, spend the night here. Everybody's going to wake up with 2 hit points down, and then get to the witchy hut and use that as there must have been some kind of fire, some kind of thing inside to have a fire, and use that as a warming shelter. I'm sure at least 6 to 8 people could be in there at a time, and
More than
just,
not, get us out of the wind.
yeah, take turns warming up and get those hit points back over the next night.
Or we could follow the road there where it goes through the forest.
I do
If we want to.
realize. I'm sorry about that, John. Go ahead.
I was done. I was just saying we could follow the fork the other way.
Can we even tell there's a road here, or is everything so buried in snow it's barely discernible?
Right. Actually, I forgot to mention that like last time. So what you see here, I should have actually fixed the map before we used it tonight. You probably can't. You would need to... the last group had a ranger. So there is also the possibility of a whiteout or even getting lost.
You keep saying that, Ross.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
still
there's
think
only one ranger in the campaign too, although he's gone now. So hey, if
Yes,
you roll really
there's
well,
0.
I guess the question is, do we feel confident we can build a structure that's going to keep people warm and dry for an hour? If we do, then we can beeline it. If we don't, then I think regardless, we should stay here for the night. But if we don't feel confident that we can build a structure that can keep people warm and dry for an hour to recover hit points, then we should go to the witchy hut, which is a place where people can take turns.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
can alter that
Yeah.
with if we were to build a fire inside the witchy hut to keep, let's say, 6 people warm at a time, that would take us.
Sorry,
hours.
I forgot to mention that the big lizard thing tore off the front wall.
Okay, yeah, and if you look at the distance, we're still going to need to, once we leave the witchy hut, and after those hours, we're going to need to camp again, so we lose that. We might as well just try to warm up after the camp normally,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
He tore off the wall,
Yeah.
huh? You left that little detail out.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
so
Yeah, probably that stuff you were smoking.
and I apologize. There's one thing that, and I was not meaning to bury this lead, but I wasn't that worried about it. But I got alarmed. I just looked at the hit points for a BX normal human, and it's 2.
I know.
2 hit points.
Yeah.
In Swords and Wizardry, mercifully, it's a D6. So it's I'm gonna say they have 4. So basically, if something bad happens, they could instantly die from exposure, or they could make it a couple of nights if you don't build the tent. I will also say, this is my ruling just off the top of my head, that it's going to take you a full period, and the way it works here is there are periods of 3 hours, like one watch. They go
So we
in
have
3-hour periods in the wilderness turn here.
That's
So
for
we have-
encounter check, Ross?
Yeah, so it'll take you 3 hours to construct this. Like, all right, everybody, let's start building these tents and everything.
Okay, so we have to stop the next day before, 3 hours before nightfall, no matter what.
Right.
And to make this tent, like we have, no matter where we are, we have to do it.
Sure.
Or we're gonna
Makes sense.
all the people are gonna die.
If we could make it to the hut, then perhaps we could use the 3 walls to keep the wind off of us, and put burlap over the 4th wall, the torn off wall. Was the roof still there, Father Caden?
Yeah, I think it was. Was it still there, Ross?
Yes. Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
question,
That would certainly be better than having to build 4 walls and a roof.
but my question is, when we're going to keep warm, we're not talking about building a structure to keep warm in. We're talking about having a fire that we all go around, right? Or am I?
I think 3 hours is both. I think was to have something like
Are we going to
either
have a structure that big?
It's okay though. Like I think let's not get too worried about, like, a hut is not a tent city, but it's also useful. But so like you could use it as a I would
Build
say
tents
the
off the side.
situation that you could imagine, because you could put lean-tos and walls and half tents and all that kind of stuff, is if there's some sort of situation where you're worried about the tent being destroyed, or you have wounded, or like, these are things that you could use solid walls for. But otherwise, I'm sorry, and I should have said this too. You did all this preparation, so you all can build your tent city, but it's going to take 3 hours. Yeah.
But I meant, just to be clear.
But if something goes wrong, then
Right.
it goes wrong. Yeah.
The question I had, though, is for the warming thing. It's got nothing to do with being indoors as much as it's got to do with having a large enough fire that you can warm up by, right?
like it might be both.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it is both. I'm sorry, because
Okay.
like the wilderness rules that I came up with, basically, you can't have this active wet precipitation. You have to have.
Okay, so then we have to have a fire inside these walls.
You can do it. So just to be clear, you
Okay,
can.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's go
Let's do
to
it.
the hut then. If that's what you guys want. Let's do the hut.
Okay.
Yeah,
do you-
we'll go that way, but
Okay.
not tonight, right?
Yeah, not tonight. We're gonna be, camping here tonight.
Fuck tonight.
You could probably travel. Either you're going to be constructing this kind of camp 2 hours into darkness, or if you traveled one more hour, you could have another hour of daylight to travel. I'll say you could go a portion of a mile. So do you keep traveling, or do you start?
I recommend to the group that we travel as much as possible because
as long
time
as
is
we
against us.
Yeah, as long as we're fairly sure we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we're going to keep traveling as until we have no more light to travel by.
I have an idea here. This will be some unwanted realism, but I have an idea.
Those look like kitties. Large, angry kitties.
I don't think we're seeing those.
Okay,
Too bad, because we could boil those mushrooms. I'm sure they're safe.
that's probably more like it.
Oh my god.
Yes, man.
Oh, wipe out? Oh, great.
Okay, so you said you want to keep traveling, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
For an hour, anyway.
at least another hour, right?
Sure.
Make it about that far, and then darkness falls.
Okay. And then we set up tents. This is going to be a rough night. We let everybody know that the next night we're going to be able to get shelter, but this is going to be a rough one. Get the tents up as best you can and put the sleds on the top.
Bundled together, sleep sideways, packed in like sardines in a tin.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Get a big fire going. Lots of people on watch.
Caden's gonna be a one.
Okay. All right. So you're able to construct this over 3 hours into the dark, which would be actually normal, like the normal time that you would usually find darkness, not in winter.
Right.
You're able to construct large fires, and you're able to break the wind using your tenting, and basically form a base camp there in the snow, breaking the wind and creating fires so that that people can be uncomfortable but not dying, and not dying of exposure. So the sun barely even seems to rise the next day like a twilight, as the sky is overcast and it remains dark, but you can kind of tell that there's twilight the next day and you're able to get rest. What do you do the next morning?
Ew.
Well, we can't warm up by the fire because that doesn't do anything. We need shelter and... Oh, wait, no, we have tents. No, sorry. So let's warm up at least for an hour till people start feeling good, and we'll do some, like, watches and stuff like that while we're doing that so we don't get snuck up on anything.
Right. Well, then we don't have to go to the hut then. If we can do it here, then why don't we just warm up here for an hour and then head straight into the forest and not worry about the hut? Am I overcomplicating this?
Yeah, if we can navigate correctly.
Which is the green route on that map.
I thought the hut was going to be able to get everyone warmed up.
Well, I guess, Ross, are we able to do that here? I think this is the question. Can we, with the huts we're making after 3 hours and fire, is that enough to warm everybody and get 2 hit points back?
Yes.
The base camp? Okay. So we don't.
Okay. All right.
We need 3 hours to make the 2 hit point recovery
Right.
situation.
Yeah, we lose time, but maybe we'll give the wolves time to find us.
I would
Right,
recommend
once in a
skipping
while.
the hut if we can help it,
Yeah, let's skip it.
because we don't want to end up in the other world.
I don't
No.
see how that was even
I-
a
I
consideration.
thought you
to go there.
broke the mirror.
All right.
Well, there was a path outside the mirror. We don't know how we got there.
Which direction do we go? Ping it for me, Alaric.
Okay, Alaric, based on the map, I'm thinking it's like,
I just don't know how to paint.
Oh,
It's like seven
I'm
o'clock, maybe.
Can't really tell on the map.
yeah, those both look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's 8
It's
o'clock.
only wipe outed.
Yeah, we're all pinging the same direction.
Okay. All right. You travel about this far, And then a couple of things. Alaric, roll a d6.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Roll, Raggy.
Roll high.
Here we go. Here we go.
You don't want to get a 1. That would be really
Oh,
bad.
I know that. That's why I'm going to roll that. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, that happened Wednesday.
Oh,
It's D6.
nice.
That
D16.
D16.
Nice.
That was really
Try
high
again,
for a
Alaric.
d16, too.
What is happening?
There we go.
Okay.
Our luck held.
All right. That is really good news for what's going on. It's not that bad. It's just would have been bad if you got a 1. Okay, so Alaric, you see kind of off from your direction of travel this way, about a fraction of a mile off, so pretty close to where the token is, but off in the white in the distance. You see a hulking, slow-moving figure close to the ground, slowly moving in the hard wind.
We may be seeing that bear again.
We'll probably have to kill it if we come upon it again.
Well, if it doesn't come up on us, we can let it live. Otherwise, extra meat. What are you guys thinking? Should we monitor it or should we proactive it?
Monitor.
Monitor. We're not here to kill
Well, I
wildlife.
think it's a warg.
If it's the warg, it'll come to us, and we also can't catch it.
Right. We're not going to be able to chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to keep an eye out for what it's doing, keep somebody always paying attention to it, and that's about it.
Okay. The next thing is you please, Alaric, roll a d100.
Oh no.
Sure not a D16? Because I'm practiced at that.
I don't know what's good on this world.
Oh. Okay.
I feel fairly safe.
You
Yeah, when you don't know you want mediocrity.
you lean against the wind as you travel some distance into the snow. Let's see.
We went towards it?
You suddenly see in the snow ahead of you, it's now about halfway into the day. You see a little bit short of halfway into the day. You can see ahead of you the break in the winds and dark shapes. You realize that it's a tree line.
Flanagan, where do you think we are?
Well, assuming we got to go towards it, right? I mean, maybe
I
we
think-
went the wrong way, but
I think it might be what you would. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that must be it. I mean,
Hope so,
I
because
think-
we're making good time if it is.
Were we even
if
going the right? Were we going that direction?
if we're turned around, then we the only way to find out is by getting to the woods, and hopefully some of
Right.
us recognize it.
Yeah, if we can find the hut, we can figure out from there where we go.
Well, I think we're going to recognize the woods if it's those woods, won't we? I mean, they're
Yeah,
a
it's
little
true.
stranger than normal.
True.
So let's. How far did you say it was ahead?
It's off at the end of your sight line, which is probably some 100 yards.
Okay,
that's
and
really
it's
close than it should
ahead
be.
of us in that direction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the direction we believe we're going correct. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I think this is a bit of a warning that maybe we're off track because we thought we would be there by nightfall.
Right.
So unless there's some woods that we forgot about, we'll find out.
Yeah, well, we're not going to like run away from the woods, so we're going to have to find out what it is.
Yeah.
So hopefully we just misjudged time. If not, then we now get a new landmark to shift our movement from.
Yes.
Or more weird stuff's happened, and new wood just was formed, and we're going into another mirror.
Or we
Is
find
it
it-
still actively snowing?
There's
Maybe
a
we'll
well.
find Kate and Shadow.
What else are we to do?
Uh,
We see
Exactly.
wood. There it is.
Yeah, Will, it's fiercely, actively snowing and blowing snow and wind close to whiteout.
with no objections, I think. Right?
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
go toward those woods.
Okay.
Sure.
You travel just a little bit further to make it to the woods, and you see that the trees here are strangely dark under their canopy, with weird octopus-like suckers coming up
Okay.
out of the base of
Well,
them.
Wrong woods.
Well,
Have
does
any-
How much?
these
What's
look
the time?
familiar, Father Caden?
Yes, it looks like the woods with the hut.
I think should we skirt them to the right?
That gives us a landmark, but how much time are we at right now so we know?
We have
You,
6 days of rations left.
you probably have half the day left as far as traveling.
If we keep the woods on our left, we're going to be able to go to the southern tip of the crescent. We're going to have to be away from the woods for a while if we don't get too curvy. In fact, if we keep the woods to our left, as soon as we no longer can see the woods, we should turn a little bit to our right to ensure that we don't get what. Now, who knows what'll happen in a whiteout?
Yeah.
We'll
Man,
turn
I
our
don't
right
know.
to right.
I agree.
I know the
General
woods are
direction.
like southwest from the witchy woods.
That's
Yeah, we just want to reduce our how closely exactly we're going toward it, so we don't miss it by
Yeah.
just a little bit.
that's pretty.
Yes, if we.
That's pretty dang
Go ahead.
clever. So what I'll say is that you're keeping the tree line off to your left, right?
And then
Yeah.
once the tree line's disappearing, we're gonna kind of veer sharper to the right, so that way we hopefully will get it somewhere toward the bottom, but not the bottom tip. So that way we have leeway left or right, not to miss it.
Okay, so you make it. The tough thing is with the disorientation from the wind and the natural spatial disorientation that occurs from the whiteout conditions. It's hard to know when the woods turn south, and you could find yourself circling these woods. But at some point, you've traveled for some ways. You have to start thinking about when you're going to make this move and turn off to the right. So I will say I thought that was a pretty cool plan. So I'll say that you can add 50 to this roll.
Okay.
But you don't know the target, but you would roll
Sure.
a D100 again.
Oh.
What'd you get? Oh, nice.
11.
Okay.
61 total.
Okay. You at some point, Alaric, you take the group and you veer off to the right away from the woods, and you travel out into the open white space. You wonder for the next hour whether or not you've made the right decision, as it seems like nothing but white all around you as far as you can see. But you can persist and you continue on into the white until finally, in the edge of your vision are dark shapes, and you see woods at the end of your vision.
Well, that's a good luck stroke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flanagan will shout back to some of the other people traveling. These are the woods. We made it. Just pass it along. We might move along a bit further before we set camp, though. So that's the question. Do we want to be, if we're at the bottom of that crescent, do we want to make our way along up the east side of this a bit more, so we're a bit more central before we set camp?
We actually don't know where we are.
I would say that we'd want to be as close to the road as possible, just in case this adventure proves
Sure.
fruitful.
We can find it.
Okay. Maybe just park it right here then, hey?
Yeah, because yes, that's a good point. We are kind of blind.
At
Yeah,
lea-
if conditions change, we might be able to find a better location.
Yeah, the damn storm would stop and the sun would
Yeah.
show itself.
Right. But as it is now, we would have to literally try to travel around and judge where it turns and not get lost and not
Yeah.
starve to death or freeze to death. So
Yeah, it'd probably just make it worse. Yeah.
yeah, I think we're better off sticking to where we are and trusting to the light.
Okay.
Yeah, we did well.
Stumble into that warg hut,
Got lucky.
whatever that is.
Okay, Alaric, you all spend the next 3 hours constructing your camp again. Wind breaks, etc., to be able to and then huge conflagrations to try to keep everyone warm, setting up
Hopefully attract
guards,
some wolves.
etc. Yeah.
Yes, we need to speak of that, Captain.
Yes.
What is the watch plan? And I'm afraid that we won't be able to see very well. It's not like if the wind wasn't whipping so bad, we could post torches on the top of poles to help, but I think the wind would just blow them out.
Yeah, I think we're going to be watching based on a misnomer. I think we'll be listening for any extreme noises, which is not likely to happen if we're being hunted. So basically, we're listening for the scream of whoever sees something first. Which means we should definitely post ourselves at, like a four corners type of situation for the watch. We don't have enough for four corners.
Well, perhaps Una, her mercenary, and the two clerics, and perhaps
We've got
Father Caden's acolytes as well.
Yeah, let's see if we can somebody come up with the list of the people that are the non-peasants, and no offense to peasants, and see if we can make a circle, quote unquote, of them, spread them out, then have maybe a peasant or two, depending on distance we want to go, in between them. So we have a kind of a circle around the camp, so we don't have something walking in unknown into the middle of the camp.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you've got
Tense.
if Una doesn't guard, and we have the her bodyguard Sutat helping. That's 16, so we could do 2 on each corner. Well, actually, no, that would already be 8. I don't know. I don't think we can do it. We do like a triangle or something.
Yeah, what we can do, and then we'll have peasants in between, so we have sight of everybody in a circle, as it were, or triangle, whatever it may be, while we're building the tents.
Yeah, and I'd also like to suggest that we put up the sleds on their sides and have near the fire as kind of like a readout where we could, if worst comes to worst, we got some hard cover and for arrows or like
Sure.
from
Good
ward. Whatever.
Yes.
So we make a little mini palisades on the inside.
Yeah.
Caden will have one of his acolytes watching.
One thing, briefly. What is the interaction between the current wind conditions and arrow fire?
Oh, it would be very difficult.
What about sling stones?
Same. It's the
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, actually, yeah, I think so.
Good thing to have a sling.
Yeah, I would have figured that lead sling bullets would be less affected by the wind than. But the sling itself, like the actual rope of the sling, might get more affected by the wind, so it might come out in the wash.
Okay, so you all set up this perimeter with this watch scheme, all looking out 360 degrees around you. Who is at the 6 o'clock position? On the
want to roll dice.
I'll
Yeah,
take it.
why don't we roll it?
Sure.
Let's do it random because we didn't plan for it.
Right. I'll roll. What size die?
There's
With-
5 of us, 2 clerics, and Sutat, a D8.
So
That's all right.
we'll go in the order in the other world. The cleric and Sutat are the next ones after that.
That works.
So the cleric and Sutat, I said. So that would be the cleric.
One of
Okay.
them.
all right. And by one of the clerics, is that Caden also, or did I misunderstand?
No,
No, Caden would have been in the first 5.
is Murok a cleric?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Merman Maroc, yeah.
Yeah, so one of those 2.
Okay. Who's kind of like the lieutenant over in charge of that area over there, the player?
Let's have Caden in that area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
makes
going to say
sense.
I'll do it.
At one point, Mirak wakes you and says, Caden,
What is it? What's happening?
I know we're tired and cold. I think I saw eyes. I think I see something glowing.
Oh, wake the others. It could be our friends, the wargs.
Have we already finished erecting everything, or are we still in the middle of erecting?
Yeah, you've got a perimeter, you've got a camp, fires. Yeah, okay, yeah, so you all go about waking everyone up. Everybody's awake now. When
I
you
will.
look off into the darkness, you see nothing but howling winds and snow.
Huh.
In spite of that, I'll start preparing. I'll start preparing some meat rations with that dose of the material I bought from the creepy old man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I will ask which direction they were in.
She points off to the 6 o'clock down to the bottom of where the token is, but the bottom.
Okay.
And she says they were there. I'm sorry. I could have swore I saw glowing eyes.
I guess we can call.
I'll ask her before you saw these eyes. Were you anywhere near Una?
No.
Okay, just I don't trust that one.
You don't have to be sorry. I think. I mean, we've seen these things. If you saw that, I trust you. And
Yeah, I trust you.
Seamus, I have a question for you. Do you think that these creatures are intelligent enough to fall for? Yet not too intelligent to fall for the old. We're trying to placate them and throw them meat to prevent them to attack us, and maybe go out there a bit and yell out, "Here, no, don't! Here's meat. Just leave us alone."
They might, but I don't. I suppose. We say, hey, this is all the fresh meat we have, and try to get the big ones to chase the little ones away from it. That's probably worth a try.
Or no, we can wait until we see them. I was just asking if we thought it was them, if we thought that might draw them out to go for it.
I mean, if they're that intelligent and they understand what we're saying, we can say, this is all the fresh meat we have. You can have it. And I'll throw the 2 bundles of meat with the special dressing on it and see if we can trick 2 of the big ones into getting it.
And I mean, throw out some of our rations too. We've done it twice. I mean, I think it's worth a try.
I think so too.
Just the more time we can buy, the more fortified this can become, perhaps. James kind of looks around doubtfully, thinking that, even in a day's time, they're not going to be able to get much done. But yes, the longer we can dig in, and perhaps the better.
Perhaps we should get people to watch the other side as well, just in case they're trying to draw us over here.
Oh, we have been. I think there was like a.
This was who.
Okay.
We set it up all the way around. It's just that this is the place where it happened.
8 of us.
Make sure everyone get back to your watch. Like it's they could, if we see them, they might come back over that way too.
This stir happens in the middle of the night. You all awaken and start working on a plan to try to lure them out, and you throw want to make sure I understand, the 2 pieces of poisoned meat, right?
I think we were going to wait until we saw them.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
I'll
hope that
you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you wait. You wake everybody up, and you come to on guard, and you're calling out these commands and stuff, and you see nothing. You lose one of your watches. So in order to not take a penalty from sleep the next day, you'll need to sleep an additional watch.
A bit.
I actually thought this was during the. I thought this was during the building.
No. You finish building, and then after you finish doing that, you set up watches, start sleeping, and then at the end of the first watch, this occurs.
Oh, okay. So this is at the end of one watch. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you?
We should sleep.
Do you
Yeah,
Can have the peasants watch during the daytime.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The twilight is dim anyways, and you take an additional several hours to rest. Nothing else seems to happen. You receive the pale, dim twilight of day. Then, what do you do, Alaric?
All right. Well, if this is these guys working at building. What are we doing now here? I'm actually not even sure what we're doing right now.
Well, yeah.
Guys?
So, one thought is if we go into the bush and these wargs are smart, they might wait for us to go in the bush and then come back and massacre these folks, right? So
I thought we were all going into the bush.
I thought we were going to build the camp here on the edge of the woods and just carve our way in.
yeah. So why don't we do that? Like today we work on building up the camp and supporting woodcutters that go into the forest and are hauling down trees, and we're just sort of maintaining watch and staying on the outskirts and watching for signs. And also we can look for some prints, see what we find, like any tracks or signs of what they were doing the night before, like where they searched, etc.
If
Yeah,
this
so-
intelligent thing sees us working on a camp, then maybe it'll come to us anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting here is okay, Gerald.
Quick check. This is the morning of our second day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We are down to 5 days rations. Just getting the accounting squared away.
Yeah. The next time we see the bear, he's me.
I've got extra because I'd bought 10 last time, thinking we were going.
Also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a lot.
So I think, yeah, like let's stay close. I mean, I think that builds morale a little bit too, that we're getting the job done, everybody's safe, and at the same time we can be tracking or just looking out to see if we see movement out there. If we do see any tracks going into the woods, maybe we can get a sense today on where they were coming and going from. So it's more of a recon, but like recon by staying around camp in a way.
Yeah, I think we need to help. Guard for wood to be cut and stuff. The idea is we're going to start building this. Whether we can stay out here and complete it in one setting, we don't know. But we're going to help them build it, right? So then we do like you said. We'll lead people there to cut and everything. Have some people that remain behind. We can have and guard while we guard
Build
the
up-
cutters.
We can the logs we followed. We can at least basically make breaks so they can't charge us. Basically, set up something, and then once we get enough wads, we can start chopping them into lengths for a palisade.
Okay.
And to be clear, I think we also want to bring back wood for expanding the wall of Zelkor's Ferry, right?
Well, that's
perhaps.
later.
Yeah, I would think we need to make sure this encampment is as secure as it can be before we do that.
Right. And to do that, I mean, we do have to kill whatever's in here. Like that's
Unless it decides to go away.
yeah.
I thought I would just throw that. I doubt it, but I hear all this negative, like we want these wolves to come visit us. I want them to go away.
Right.
There's one. Okay. So let us do, as was said, cut some wood, leave it on the ground for breaking up any charges in the meanwhile. And get a good fire running, which we have, to keep the people warming in between their work and stuff. And what do you think we're going to do as far as, the woods are in sight of the camp. So we don't right now really have to separate anybody other than the distance it would take us to run there. So we can go everybody.
We just keep chopping away the forest until we, just stay on the edge, and unless there's some reason we would
Right.
have to
so
go in
unless
the
we see the
interior.
tracks or something, we're going to stay on the edge and start cutting and guarding while we're cutting.
Okay.
Yeah.
This goes on. You do this for a day until the night falls, and then it enters into the second day. On the first day, Alaric, make a wisdom check. And I didn't see. What'd you get?
Oh, apparently it doesn't roll when you click, so let me just roll it.
That's rude.
Oh wait, no, that's right. I gotta roll. I was clicking like I'm used to on the number of my wisdom. No, I gotta click on saving throw.
Right.
So it's an 11 plus 1, 12. I failed. I need a 13.
11 plus 1. Okay, you failed. All right. Nothing happens.
Cool.
And then the
me check my saving throw in case it's changed. I did level.
Who is at the 12 o'clock position at 4 o'clock in the morning? It would be the last watch of the night.
I know Flanagan is doing the last watch so he can dry off his clothes, so it may be him. Why don't you say Flanagan?
All right.
You can just,
Flanagan, roll a d6.
all right.
I
Do
made my
want-
saving throw, by the way. My saving throw is 12. I exactly made it.
Okay. Go ahead.
High, right? I need
Yeah.
to know before randomizing button.
Yeah, you want to roll. You do not want to roll a 1. Oh, you rolled a 1.
We rolled a 1. Yeah, that's like Wednesday.
That's so bad. That's the worst possible outcome in this game. I think.
Nope. Bring it on.
Wait. Kill me.
A couple of things happen. Let me think.
All of them are bad.
You're laughing right now.
You hear screaming in the night.
I hear that.
And then you see. Let me. Gosh darn it. You see. Close to the last watch for you. Let me find villagers. You see 2 wolves dragging someone off into the dark.
Okay, I'll just scream. Everybody get up!
Nice job there, Ross. I like that, what you did there.
Ooh.
Um,
Let's see.
Yeah,
Feast
that's
for the
nice.
eyes. That's
and
beautiful.
And the wolves.
yeah,
Wall.
yeah. So everybody gets up, and let's see, Unat comes out, and these wolves are like tearing at this woman and dragging her off into the dark.
And it's 2 regular-sized wolves?
There's 2 regular-sized wolves.
Yeah, that's a trap. Well, I'm going to immediately take chase and go, oh, they're grabbing people! I know that.
Damn it, Alaric, stop.
Yeah, I
Don't
shout
do
out. I
Who's
also
awake?
I look back at the camp and shout out, keep your watches on the south. Keep your watches.
Yeah,
Someone
everybody
get
starts coming to the north. Yeah.
Yeah. So I run back actually and try to keep people to at least some people to watch the edges. We're going to be in real trouble.
Caitlin will leave a group to the south to hold it.
Okay.
And I basically start trying to throw rocks at the, instead of actually using it as a sling, just as I'm running,
Seamus
throwing rocks
will-
at the
Seamus
wolves and
will-
yelling.
Yeah. Seamus will watch the
Seamus?
west end and get out his raw meat.
All right. If Seamus has the west end, I'm pushing north. Following up on Dan.
I know it says villagers times 36, but I'm just putting them in place.
I assume
so
that-
Yeah, it dragged off
For some
36
reason, I thought it was
villagers.
3. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's Una.
I assume they're not moving super fast with dragging a full-grown woman.
Flanagan will shout back at Gerald and say, "Get Alaric back in here.
Say that one more time.
Get Alaric back in here." He shouts up to you.
They're taking someone.
But they're taking someone!
You have to just let her drag her off.
Is she still moving? She's still screaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I am still throwing rocks and running after them until I can catch up.
Yeah, I get. Flanagan's just sort of.
Now that's assuming we're not talking like 700 feet down the road. I'm not,
Yeah. How
I'm
far
not a
is she?
crazy man.
No. I mean, she's probably like 150 feet away from the camp, in the
Yeah.
dark. She's in the dark.
Oh,
We probably can't even see
I
her
can't.
then.
Okay,
You're
then I
just
can't
hearing
see her to
screams.
follow and chase
Oh,
after
yeah.
wolves. All right.
Okay, no. There's a difference between we can
Yeah.
see her and somewhere out there someone's being dragged away.
Yeah, no, I
You
don't
hear her.
chase into pure darkness. I can't see. So no, I would have chased after her
Oh.
even if she had 4 wolves on her, but not if I can't see.
Eventually,
This may be too soon, but dingoes ain't my baby.
Yeah.
Eventually, the screams stop. I'm gonna make a morale check for your villagers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Flanagan is really aware of this, and I mean, you guys can all step in, but he starts by saying, "They're trying to. We said it was going to be tough. This is what they're doing. They're smart. They're gonna try to make us feel like we're gonna lose this. We'll get out there tomorrow, but don't. It's one person. If we all start falling apart now, we're all gonna die out here. We're gonna get around the fire. And I just try to. I don't know what anybody else says, but
I tell Seamus, make sure you keep the meat strapped to your body, just in case.
Yeah.
How about I strap it to your body instead? That sounds like it's better for me.
Well, I'm just saying, in case you get taken.
Well, you're made of meat.
Alaric, you can roll a wisdom save.
Okay.
And also, while you are trying to give commands and direct everyone to stay at the walls and stay inside the camp and attend to their duties and not give up and all these sorts of things, you notice you notice Una and Selag, but Una has been standing here and watching off into the dark during this time. Gerald and Alaric and Flanagan, you see this.
As a clarification, I did run out. I just immediately realized that it was fruitless, so they would have seen me run past the barricade and go, I can't see shit,
Sure.
excuse me, and come back in.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm not used to the click versus double click, so I clicked twice. The 18 is my second roll. The 1 is my real saving throw.
Can we count?
You
We
hold on.
Sorry.
You see nothing. Seems Go ahead.
I was going to suggest we count villagers.
sure.
Yeah, so let's
do
do
a
a roll call.
But we also see Una looking out into the darkness.
While this was going on, she was watching off into the dark.
Okay, so Flanagan's pretty upset, right? I mean, his adrenaline's pumping. He goes, and this is like a potential crisis point for our camp. He goes over to Una, and he grabs her by the shoulder and he says, "What are you looking at? What do you see out there?
And like
Don't hold back."
I was trying to listen. Too far away, though, but something strange. I was trying to listen.
What did you hear?
I was trying to hear what they were thinking, what they were feeling, but I can't. They're too far off.
Do we know the direction? Are they circling? Are they in one direction?
I can't tell.
Okay.
Oh,
Is there a way for you to have an extended feeler out for a while to know when they're coming, or is it something you can only do for a short period?
Doesn't work like that.
I don't know anything about magic. That's why I ask.
What if we took you out? What if we did a little patrol close to the walls, walked around, did a circle just outside the perimeter? Would that help?
I'm going to randomly determine which of our able-bodied volunteers we just lost, if that's okay with you.
I mean,
On a D6.
So
Somebody.
just to clarify, Jay, you were suggesting a patrol in the dark.
Yeah, maybe just 20 or 30 feet out from the wall, from the perimeter. So, like, if they all start running at us, we can get inside. But just to extend her range a little bit.
Okay.
I have no idea how long her spell lasts or what the range is, but to get outside the walls and also just kind of like to team up with her a little bit and get a little bit of something gelling there.
But we did definitely lose a villager, right?
Yeah, one of the well-armed ones, too.
Well, I mean, are sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to propose. I mean, no one else has to come. We can take a couple of the mercenaries and just go 20 or 30 feet out from the walls. And if we're lucky, I mean, I don't know if her range is 15 feet or 90 feet or whatever, but could you? I asked, do you think you can usually hear out? Like, if we're outside the walls, might you be able to hear their thinking out into the darkness? Or is it like
I need to be closer to them.
Maybe. Okay, let's. I call everybody over for a second, Alaric.
Yeah, Flanagan.
What do you all think of? I mean, everybody's going to be real pissed off right now and scared, and here we are sitting inside the walls. Would it help even just for us to get outside the walls, 20 or 30 feet on the edge with torches shouting out into the snow might help people feel a little bit more comfortable. And if we do attract the wolves, we back off into our perimeter and we have a fight. We got to have that fight
Yeah.
at some.
You
Yeah.
got to remember they're faster than we are.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Seamus, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was saying they're faster than we are. If we go more than 30 feet from the wall, they'll likely catch us outside the wall, which is what they want.
But
That's
if
why
we
we-
do that,
I'll
if we
sort
can
of
catch
look.
them in melee, and then our villagers come in to support us,
I think we need the walls. I'll look back and through the torchlight to see what we've done today and try to estimate how much more secure we might be after 24 more hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying if we see them, we can back.
Well, hold on.
Just
Sorry.
don't-
So
go ahead.
hold on. Sorry. So Will, yeah, as far as you look at the camp to see kind of what you've done. You've accomplished a lot. You have made like an encampment out here with what you have, stacks of wood, things like that. You think that in another couple of days, you could probably have a defensible position.
I guess what I'm suggesting is that we're sitting here and letting them come. That we don't run out more than 30 feet, Seamus. We stay even 10 feet, but it means something to be outside of the walls with torches, shouting out there, showing that we're not afraid of walking out beyond our battlements, right? And that's all. That's what I'm suggesting. They probably won't attack us, but just far enough that if we do see them, run back inside. And everybody else, if you see us and we start shouting, get out there with axes. This is the fight.
Okay.
And just to get them pumped, then like
Sure.
Okay.
Jay, so Flanagan, you go out 20 feet from the wall, you're taking a lantern, which you'd need something to be able to withstand the wind, and you take.
I've got a bolt for lantern. I'll go with them.
Okay, Seamus goes with him, and Unat goes, and as well as Unat's bodyguard. And you make it about 20 feet out, and she's holding her hand up against the winds, looking off in the darkness. She's like, "It's too far away. I have to be closer. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. There's something strange, though."
I can't talk, so I'm not there.
what is it?
I don't know. Something feels. I'm trying to see how they feel, but I'm too far away.
Una, you know that there's a limit to how far we can safely go from the walls, or even unsafely. We're taking a risk as it is.
Of course.
What does Sutat look like he's doing when she's saying this?
Sudat is like looking around and holding a lantern and just like hyper vigilant.
I say,
Is it still snowing?
Yes.
this is more for everybody inside the walls than what we're doing out here. Let's just walk around. We'll walk the perimeter. And I held up my lantern and I shout out, more for the sake of the villagers inside. I shout out, if you're out there, we're not leaving until you're dead. You might as well come out now, you cowards. Get out here. Meet your maker.
Okay.
And I said,
You do
keep
that,
walking.
and you come back, and you'll probably need to sleep into the next day as well, to be able to make up for this. But you're now on the third day, I think.
Okay.
Decrementing rations.
Third day.
We're now from 4 days of rations remain.
Okay. So the next day comes. Let me do checks here.
Now, we do want to encourage. See, if we went out a distance and they decided to attack us, yes, we would not have our nice little guarded area, but we would at least have our battle.
In the dark,
Guarded area.
in the dark where we can't see.
No, I didn't say in the dark. I'm saying if we were out and they attacked us.
What about searching that hut that we believe they might have been in?
How far is that?
Pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's south of here, right?
It's a half day.
Aiden had a question about the hut in the wood where the wargs were. How much of an estimated time, based on our current movement at 12 that we've been doing, would that take?
I mean, based on how far you've come, it's probably a day and a half to 2 days if
Yeah.
you went through the woods.
Right.
Is it work hut?
Org Hut was in the woods on the south.
If you went around the woods to get back to the road and come back around, it'd probably be 3 or 4 days if I had to guess. I mean, based on where you were. But anyways, Alaric, make a wisdom save.
I'd like to propose while this is on this. I guess we have to decide what we're doing on this day, but let's wait till after this wisdom save and see what happens.
I'd assumed that you all were. That's why I was moving things forward. I'd assumed that you all were gathering wood and reinforcing this position and stuff. But yeah, if you decide to pick up and say, all right, let's leave this camp and move, let me know. Okay, Alaric, you notice in the course of your watch. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, now I need to know.
It's a 14, by the way.
So Alaric, it's I think the second day now that you have been at this encampment. You've been gathering wood and reinforcing it and digging it in and everything like that. What do you do on your second day?
So what am I hearing from everybody? You're talking about the warg hut would be too far to go without taking everybody.
Yeah, it's a little circle on the edge of the woods there.
Yeah, shit.
What would be the goal? What would be the advantage of that? Don't we want to build a thing to be able to get back to and have people safely be at and be able to build?
We've come to destroy the wolves, right?
Well, we brought all these villagers. We didn't need to bring them to destroy the wolves only.
We're doing two things. We're to destroy whatever's in the woods and get wood.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to clarify, if these things in the woods are gone, then Odo will help you. Like he will use his mercenaries, and a part of that is also he's going to pay to construct this palisade. But he's not gonna.
So you don't need the villagers. That was we didn't need to do that.
Well, we needed the villagers to make the camp, right?
We needed the villagers are a significant military force. Like these people could kill me.
They're keeping us alive.
Well, a significant labor force.
All right. Well, we don't need to make this camp. Then let's go look for the warg hut.
We do need to make the camp. You need the woods to make the palisade in Zelkor's Ferry.
But that's my point. If we kill the thing in the woods, it will be Odo that will be making the palisade.
No. Here, I'm sorry. Let me frame the options. Sorry, Alaric. So here's what's going on. The purpose of this was two things. If you can find this thing in the woods and get it out of here, then he will pay to build the palisade, a new palisade further out, like a new wall, right? And he'll use his mercenaries to guard the road and the camp and everything like that. The people are for they create a camp for you, which is what allows you not to be losing hit points every day. So you all haven't lost any temporary hit points. Let me frame some options. One, you can stay here because it's a defensive position. And you can continue to build it up defensively and try to have this trench warfare game where they're trying to goad you, you're trying to goad them, and you're trying to maneuver defensively for this confrontation. Or option two, you abandon this thing that you've been building here and go on the hunt, whether that's going down to wherever you go. It doesn't matter. You tell me. But either that you're either digging in, and that's what's been going on, and then they're trying to bait you out, and you're trying to get them baited out, or you can just go and try to get them.
Can I make a suggestion?
Good.
We do the same thing for a second day. We stay around camp, or whatever it is. We stay around camp, and we just stay local and help show them that there's a pattern. And then on the third day, we go out in force following their tracks. Their tracks might be stronger if they've been going to the same place. We'll be able to be clearer on that. Like they're obviously going somewhere in the day, and then maybe resting, and then getting up in the night and coming out and hunting, right? Coming for us. So we make them a little bit complacent. Like, okay, they're staying around camp. We come in the night and we get them. That's what they're thinking. Let's wait till the next day, and then go out and follow their tracks and hunt them in the daytime.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Only one issue I see is if the wind is blowing and stuff, the tracks may be
Or
Yeah.
constant snow.
fall.
Sure. I mean,
No.
But
I think we should
however
li-
you go about it, right? Which,
Yeah, we
however you try to do the attack.
Right.
I think
Okay,
we
so-
should. I think we should list up our advantages and disadvantages. Staying here, we have the advantage of numbers and light. Also, in the daytime, they cannot surprise us as easily. In the nighttime, we are very vulnerable. I think we need to stick inside these walls as soon as we have them built at nighttime, and not go on a grand warg hunt.
Well, if I agree that this is a lot better defensible, but we won't kill them if they won't engage with us when we're in these walls.
Yeah, we
they
could
will.
sit here
They'll keep coming here
the
for
whole time
food.
and
Right now, I think they consider us their larder.
Right, and we won't have food in 3 days.
John, what were you saying?
I was saying basically what the Lark is saying.
Okay.
Well, and then we basically reinforce this as much as we can, and then we make out for Zelko's ferry to bring more food back.
Gerald, how many days out can we stay now?
Assuming that we don't, with or without the magical blipping back after we're done, we've got 4 days of rations left.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm pretending. Like,
Yeah.
actually.
We got 4 days of rations left, just the long and short of it. It takes us about
Okay.
2 days to get back.
So we have 2 days to lure them and build, and if nothing else, we'll have this built thing that we might be able to use in the future anyway. So if if Seamus and the others are thinking that, I think that's fine. We can see. We just have to be very alert and hope that we can spot them if they attack us in the middle of the night.
Okay. Let's.
Sorry,
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say I like the idea of waiting one more night and then going on the hunt.
Right. I agree, because beyond that, then we won't be able to do anything other than retreat back.
Yeah. I mean, we came out here. I hear what you're saying, Seamus, but we came out here to get rid of these things.
Yes, but if the weather would break, it would be a big help, and if we could
It's not gonna,
see.
man. You know it's not going to break.
Only gonna get
That's not
worse.
how this works.
Well, if the blizzard lasts until spring, if it's endless blizzard, we're all dead anyway.
All
We
right.
are all dead
Rather
anyway.
than die fighting the
If it is snowing.
Well, that's what I said in the inn. I mean, are we gonna die fighting, or are we gonna die sitting all huddled up in behind the walls?
Well, eventually we have to leave to get food.
All right.
I'm just
So
saying.
let's take it to a vote so we can move on.
Yeah.
What we are going to stay here another day, then move out after that, or B, we're going to stay here and keep building until we have to move out because of food to go
Well, that
back.
would be 2 days, right?
Yeah, 2 days. Well, it means whether we will strike out or not is the question, really. If we'll strike out, that's A. B is we don't strike out.
Right. I mean, that's what we came here
Just
to.
say you're A or B. You know?
Reporting that we strike out to get them, because that's what we intended to do last session, and that's what we said we were coming out here to do. This is the
strike.
situation that I thought we were going to be in, and actually we got here much quicker than I thought we would. But I don't know, like it's scary. It's going to be dangerous, but I still think we should go out there and strike the next day.
Hmm.
Okay. How many for A?
A.
hey,
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So let's give it the day of building, and if we don't encounter them or don't solve the situation, the next day we go on the hunt.
Okay.
We come back at night, go out, we drive out, see if we can track them, and we're decisive, and we get back here before nightfall.
I have
See if we even.
I have a
time
clarifying question about this striking out plan.
Mhm.
Do you take the villagers with you?
Well, yeah, no, we can't leave the villagers behind. That's just feeding them.
All right. Okay, so
Well, we should just strike out for Zelkor's Ferry, no?
Well, let's just go back home.
Yes, and basically we'll try to lure them with us. Since we would be outside of the protection, they will probably come and attack us.
We thought they would on the way here.
Yeah, they didn't.
I don't think they're going to. We have to go find where they live and kill their children. Then they'll come after us.
okay, so the second day, you all are gathering wood. You're reinforcing this camp. Alaric, you can see at one point, you think in the woods, you think you see movement.
I try to catch attention quietly, and I point in the direction of where I see the movement.
The person with you, we'll say it's one of the mercenaries. They also see some movement, but then by the time you bring more people, they do not. This was about 100 yards away.
This is in the middle of the day. Not the day we're planning on going out, though.
Yeah, this is the second day in the middle of the day.
Right.
Cool.
Which direction?
Into the woods.
Oh, okay.
I had asked the mercenary, or whoever was with me, to grab Ulna as a first thing, so I could tell her that we saw movement, but it may have at least 100 away. So if it's too far, don't even try.
She comes out. She waits, listens, and she's like, "It was only just a moment, so what I'm about to tell you may not be helpful. Fear, hunger, anger."
Okay.
I like 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should this be our first foray out, even though our plan was to finish today?
I think we should make them complacent. We should just do this, act like this is what we're doing every day,
Okay.
and then tomorrow we drive out.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay to the plan and go out tomorrow, unless something, they attack, whatever.
But also, I guess we now know that they have scouts out in the day as well, but whatever. I mean, this is our plan. We already told everybody, so.
Okay, the rest of the day passes. You don't notice anything. The night falls, and nothing seems to happen that night. And the sun raises on the third day.
All right, let's gather our
Maybe
stuff.
they have the same plan.
Everybody, here we go. I mean, we're gonna get your axes ready, get your axes sharpened.
Do we need to bring the wagons and stuff? We really could come back this way when we're done.
Probably one of the sleds with us to bring back firewood, or not firewood, but food.
Yeah,
We're bringing the sleds with us so that we can bring back their pelts.
Yeah.
Sure.
sounds good. Yep.
And we have a little bit of a base camp here. And maybe as everybody's packing up, some of us should get out into the woods and see if we can see there's steady tracks that head into the woods somewhere. Like, let's pick our route if we're lucky. Especially under the trees, the snowfall might not cover everything, right?
Right.
I think we should stay together until we're ready to move, because if we send somebody out 100 feet ahead, they can just be grabbed and dragged.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Roll a d6, Alaric. And wait, where do you go? I'm sorry.
In the direction of that 100 feet thing that we saw toward the wood line.
Gotcha.
Looking for
I mean,
tracks.
that's old information, but that's where they were last, so we'll look there.
Yeah, but a day of tracks like under the trees, it can last for weeks under the trees.
So, and I'm going to make sure I understand your intention is to hunt them down. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody,
They
torches and axes.
you do not have to go very far before you get what you want. And you see
I would quote the Stones on this. It's more like we get what we need.
you see around you
Nervous man.
there are probably dozens of these things all around you.
Dozens.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see them, they see you. They start to circle. You see that some of them are huge.
Okay, so the number then, you're saying dozens, but this is the number we're looking at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey! Okay, a little bit of a huddle here, everyone. What do we do?
They're doing this
Get 'em.
thing like off in the distance where they're just kind of like circling and growling and stuff like that. Except the really large ones are just like sitting stoically. Every once in a while they'll come up and sniff one of the other wolves, and they'll come back down and sit and just look at you.
Let's see what Una thinks.
Seamus?
Yeah. Let's see what Una thinks.
Una, she comes forward, and she comes up to where Alaric and Gerald are, and she looks, and then this thing looks back at her, and she says, "He's afraid. They want to live. You kill them."
Or can you tell them to go away and we won't kill them?
Can they speak?
They kill us.
We've been having... If they want to be civilized, we should be
Seamus?
civilized.
Una starts to walk out toward it.
Me?
Oh, good lord.
Uh-oh.
What?
How's Sutat feel about that?
Sutat is like, wait, Una, no! And, but then she does anyway, walks out into the howling wind. Up to this thing.
Do we need to just do a little huddle here, everyone, or are we?
We'll just start swearing.
Okay.
I guess we see what happens. We could be down one witch.
Yeah, my comment to Seamus was, wouldn't this be the right time to make an offering to them?
Yes, I was going to do that after Una told us what she had said, but she
Actually,
seems
I didn't
to,
hear it because my son came in at that moment.
she seems to have another. Well, I didn't.
So you all wait to see what happens with her?
I think so.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
I gesture for the villagers. Make sure they don't get around us. Like form a wall here, and I start, getting people out.
Right.
We'll make
Or
a
not.
square.
Bundle
They have
like a
spears.
yeah.
19 of them do.
Make a spear of square.
Like remember, we do have. There's 36 villagers. There's way more of us than it looks like right now.
35.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's even, right? 35 wolves, 35 peasants with
Not quite.
pitchforks. Okay, so after a moment, she actually she turns back to you and holds up her hand, and they start to come together.
What's going on here, Una?
Just those three. I walk forward toward Una.
Yeah.
I have arranged a deal that I think that will work for everyone.
Do
A
tell.
deal? What do you mean?
What's that?
And I think it'll work for me too.
Uh-oh.
Go on.
That sounds ominous.
I pull my sword out and have it standing by my side.
She like
Go on.
she like goes like this when you pull your
Chill,
sword out.
chill.
And
Go
then
on.
these wolves start to growl.
We're men of the light. Let's be the sane ones here.
Go on.
They've agreed to leave.
In exchange for?
You don't kill any of their loved ones.
And who were those?
And she motions back to the dozens of wolves all around you.
I will.
I'm
My
confused
next
by
two.
this.
So we make peace, and they kill none of us.
I'll lean over to Alaric and whisper, have any of you blokes killed any wolves since you've been here?
No.
No.
Yep. How about the one of us they dragged off?
How about that other group?
We killed a few, I think.
Did we?
Didn't we?
Nope.
I don't think
we
so.
ran from wolves every time.
Yeah,
Do
we have not once successfully started anything with the wolves.
How about the group with the mirror walking ranger? Have
We
they
didn't
killed
fight
any?
any wolves last week.
Yeah, he can't speak for them in general because he's only been with them like twice or once.
Whatever the case may be, I'll say, your people need to eat too. Maybe we can leave, have a bit of a truce and leave out what we find. Leave an offering or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's real quick. To be clear, she's saying that she is brokered a way that makes them just walk away. We have a understandable confusion as to why that would be an acceptable thing for these animals of nature to do. And I hope I'm not hearing that we're planning to poison them if they're going to walk away.
No, that's not what I said. I just
Okay, just give them regular meat.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
the wargs want to go. She sensed fear in them. They don't want to die. So that does make sense to me why they want to go. The wolves are going to stay, but they don't. The wargs don't want them to get killed. They're
No.
children.
I'm sorry. All of them are going to leave. All the wolves and the wargs.
And I
That's
asked
what they say.
Ulna, what does leave mean? Why? What? How are they convinced of this?
They're going to go where there are no men.
There are forests to the south of here. There are riverlands. They think that they may have better luck. Your kind hunts them here, especially the man behind the walls.
And you, Una? You will go with them?
Yes.
Oh,
Why?
What of the one who was dragged off?
That's regrettable.
hmm.
They were afraid.
What are you going to do with them, Una?
She kneels next to the big one and then puts her hand on it, and then it like rumbles and sniffs her, and she says I'm going to get everything I wanted.
And
Not eerie at all.
do we have a truce with you then? Are you leaving and not coming back? You're not going to make trouble with Zelkor's Ferry?
I don't imagine I will, but I would recommend perhaps not traveling through the woods in the south anymore.
Way ahead of you.
Our allies may not agree to this, though.
That's the woods that they go to? I don't know where they are.
Pull up the map.
Yeah, I want to check that too. I'll pull up the map. Could you
Aiden
show?
would know where they are. I don't have any idea where they go.
I know they
wood-
went way to the south.
They're not here anyway, so I mean, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
you wouldn't know where they go.
But
or
if they-
what
what if
route
they
they
break
take
the
or
truce?
whatever.
No, I meant like if Caden knew where they went. I don't know if he went where they went.
No.
Oh, I was just worried. What if they break the truce?
Yeah. Which?
They-
Go ahead.
Another group, I mean.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to accept this deal.
Yeah,
The
so
pacts
this-
between men and wolves gave rise to dogs long ago. The possibility for peace between man and wolf has always been there.
Yeah.
This winter will be
um,
hard enough without the blood of our children spilled on the earth.
I wonder if Una could ask if they know of anything else in these woods that may
That is
be
dangerous
harmful.
in hunting. Good idea, Caden. Very good.
Yep. Got half an hour more to go whooping around in here.
Well, even just to know this intel is useful. So
Just joking.
Uno, you know how to make fire, right?
I'm answering that question. I'm looking.
Cool.
Yeah, we could ask her to mark their territory so we're clear somehow.
and now, while he's looking, we are of course going to have to revisit the Una situation later because I'm sure no good will come of it. But it
She
will...
promised to leave us alone.
If it
Yeah.
gets us a truce now, that's all.
No, I agree. I'm all for the truce. I'm saying we'll have to make note that we may have
Yes.
to check up on these what she's up to.
You know what, Alaric?
Yeah.
That is future Seamus's problem.
That's right. And
President
I don't
Seamus
even
is
care about
fine.
that guy. I'm agreeing. I'm just making mental note. We will.
I
have
could
to
be dead
revisit
by
this
then.
later. But this is the best option I've seen because I was thinking two of them
Yeah.
and a dozen
even-
and a half would be trouble.
Even though it will put me out of pocket 500 gold pieces, it's still worth it.
Okay. back to the question. Somebody, sorry, Katie was asking.
Yep.
You asked her like, what other kind of things are there to worry about?
She's
First,
preying on them.
the first thing is, do you accept their offer? Because they're not going to do anything unless you do that, except fight.
I think, yeah.
Everybody's agreeing on this, right? Yeah. Yeah, we have no problem with that offer.
They howl. All of them howl, and they start to move past you. And
Moving what we think is south.
yeah, further
Make
into
mental
the
note of
woods.
that, guys. South, that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
To clarify, she says there's a mountain here. They say that it's an entrance into the massive subterranean network that was hollowed out back when the war was here centuries ago. That mountain serves as a boundary, but the tributary from the river, it continues south further from that. You'll need to go around it if you want to explore to the east. But should you go any further south, you'll find yourself in our woods, where we'll be trying to make a new life for ourselves.
That's understood.
And then, okay, since that's the case, Una, actually she can't talk to it. But I'm sorry, Caden, you say it out loud, and then she can hear its thoughts.
Right.
She looks it in the eyes, and she says, "I won't reveal any of this if you don't want me to." And then it does this thing where like a cat will, it's on its hind legs and it lowers its head like that, like almost like it's stretching, and then she nods and she says, "I can tell you some things, Caden. There are many things in this forest. I think that I can sense you already..." Oh. Fascinating. Forgive me, Father. I can't help it, you see. You were already touched. Oh, if only we had more time to talk, Father. You were already touched by the other. Oh well. There are a lot of things in this forest to worry about, but in the end, I think none of that matters because of the thing that lives on the island far to the east, off the coast, and then the thing that dwells in its peoples at the heart of the earth down below in this dungeon. In the end, those two things rule this place. No matter who comes and goes and fights, the battles, the seasons, even us, none of that matters.
Okay, so no information on the woods.
Yeah, I was like, maybe those specific crops of woods, but that's good too.
But it is information.
I think that
Scott.
you're resourceful enough to overcome the things that you find in trees and lakefronts and copses. I don't think that is You've survived
no.
so far.
No, we were just trying to find out if anything was preying on them that might give us a clue that this is one of the predators we have to take care of.
The men
the
behind
ones I
the
know I was
walls were
worried
preying on them. Any man in particular? Our friend Odo didn't have a bounty out on him, did he?
Interestingly, Seamus would not know this, and you would know this right now, but as a reminder, several of you do know that, in fact, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I'm
You would not know
asking and
that.
looking.
You would not know that, but Caden,
I'm asking out loud in character.
What? I missed that bounty question. What?
Does Odo or anybody back in the Palisade have a bounty out on wolves?
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes.
I asked.
Yes, Odo does.
Ah, no wonder they are afraid.
Una smiles
yes, well.
and she says, "To some things, you're the monsters." And she walks away.
I am legend.
Before you
look
go,
at all.
Una, do you have what you need to make fire?
I have everything I need.
All right.
What about
Wait,
her
wait.
friend?
What about our friend? Is he gonna go?
Yeah.
He ain't going. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Actually, Solod, he comes forward and he's like, Una, wait, I owe you my life. Where are we going? And Una smiles at him and says, Solod,
tell him to stay.
you've paid your debt to me. I think you're better suited with these people. I can
Welcome
tell.
with it.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. We'll pay you.
Solod looks like downcast, and she puts her hand on his face, and
So this is what she wants.
Every knight's lady must leave him in time.
she does leave. This large group of wolves starts to disappear among the trees.
Did we understand that the border is Rappan Athuk or another mountain that's south of that?
I think that's what they were saying.
As I understand it, the boundary of their territory is we shall not enter the woods south of the mountain by which we may enter the Mount of Doom, and we are allowed to circumnavigate the lake to the east of the forest, to explore to the east, but we may not go further south than the southernmost tip of the water of the lake. Once we are around a lake, we must continue east away from their territory. So that is our path of transit.
I'm sure Flanagan will make a map for us.
Yeah, let's get that clear and we'll map it so we know what this. And we're also going to bring this information back to Zelkor's because we don't want anybody hunting them in, going out of the way there to hunt them.
If we don't want to go into the woods and search.
Well, I think we should
The ones
tell
right here.
our friend Odo we've given our word, and if we do not want him or any of those other people breaking the word.
When you make it back, Odo is a bit affronted by this, but admits that you did solve the problem, and so he gives you the agreed upon 500 gold pieces, in case I forget. So you all get the payment, and he is also good on his word to begin the construction of a palisade further out.
Like to land.
We'll
We tell them about the rough location of where we built the beginnings of a
Right.
small palisade for woodworkers.
yeah.
Right, I'll make note of that. on
Logging
that.
camp.
And just like Seamus suggested, then they start developing a road, basically, through the snow, and it is awful, and it's hard, miserable work, and it's difficult, but they do have wood, and they can survive. So you've also saved all of these refugees that made their way into Zelkor's Ferry.
Well, the
several hundred people.
palisade.
Does that
Maybe
dead
we'll
woman
give.
have family?
Sorry,
No, I'm sorry. Does the dead woman have family? here?
that's exactly where I was going.
Oh, that's great. Okay, we think of that. Good.
Yeah, no.
No one has heard of her.
That's sad. Well, she a statue of the unknown colonist.
Yeah, we'll put a grave marker at the church for her.
A proper memorial.
Okay.
That's actually a good idea. We should have a memorial to the unknown colonists.
So I just and anyways, you've saved all of these refugees that you found in the wilderness and brought them back here as Zelkor's Ferry has grown for now, and they have what they need to survive through the winter. And given this and the resources you have, you can leave if you want. You can make your way off somewhere else. Slow going though that might be. Lunden,
Sorry.
or you could make it to Bard's Gate, and I think that was the plan, right?
If we could, we were going to do that, but we didn't want them to get overrun, starved, etc.
Well, that will not
I have a
happen.
question about the day group. If I go to Anne's Redoubt, or Caven goes with them, then Can he still go to Bard's Gate after that?
I can't. I thought I didn't remember. I don't remember that being a. Why were you going to Ansredal?
Well, Kellic said something about Ansredal.
I don't know.
Martin.
I have bad news for them though. Their way of getting there has just been closed off.
Yeah.
Because of the wolves?
Yeah, and they'll have to discover a new way, or they'll have to deal with those wolves. But they might have some interesting thoughts on that anyways. We'll see. That's the end of the session for the night.